would President William Ruto win if an election were to be held today? This is the question on many a political mind amid a deteriorating public image and a government struggling to impose its development footprint. Political pundits say that Ruto would lose by a wide margin, as a majority of Kenyans are unhappy with him, but are not ruling out the possibility of an image rebrand and a political turnaround. NTV's David Mudhoka spoke to a couple of political analysts and found this report.
Ever since ascending to power more than 2 years ago, President William Ruto appears to be facing his hardest year yet at the helm of his government. Most of his decisions, policies and actions have not only been put under the microscope for the better part of this year, but also sharply criticized by a majority of Kenyans. That the president has had to eat the humble pie is no secret.
I now direct that the procuring agencies within the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum immediately cancel the ongoing procurement process for the JKIA expansion public-private partnership.
Among these are the Finance Bill of 2024 and the two deals that the controversial Indian-based conglomerate Adani Group had with his government, and pundits say his image is taking a dent.
Whatever he says, whatever he touches, contributes to the loss of credibility and believability. So that we gotten to a point where people are not just unwilling to believe what he has said, but they're not even ready to listen to what he's saying. That's where the problem is. But he's not a man under siege.
Several government programs launched this year and late last year have also been met with backlash, among them the Social Health Authority and the Higher Education Funding Model. Then there is the about turn by the church, which in the run-up to the 2022 elections had overwhelmingly supported his bid.
In the recent month or two, things have become worse, despite a lot of effort to try and paint a positive picture. The reprimand by the bishops was very hard-hitting, the Catholic bishops. And then all the other bishops joined.
Whether Raila continues...
Against the backdrop of these issues, political analysts claim that the president will go home as a one-term president if elections were held today.
In any elections, everybody who stands has a chance. But the question is how big a chance. His chances of winning at present are not very high. But we know we are not going to have an election today. For one, we don't have an IEBC. So until you constitute an IEBC, you cannot have an election. In fact, there are by-elections which are pending.
The number of people who are not happy with Ruto are far more than the number of people happy with him in the country. That's a fact as of now. It's another story whether that will be maintained and sustained until 2027.
But for a man known for political mavericks and strokes of genius, the pundits argue that a comeback is not too difficult to contemplate. David Mudhoka, NTV.